Good morning. I'm Leonard Lang. I'm the expert on the California bottle bill, and today I'm going to start one of several videos to discuss what happened in the legislation this year. Now, two things I want you to know. When I first started with this program in 1987 and started attending meetings in Sacramento every week, sometimes twice, I, uh, I found that Sacramento was a place where the rules were meant to be broken. The other thing I learned over time was that whatever wine wanted, wine got. So, major changes. One of the things that's happening is they're adding wine bottles and liquor bottles into the program. And the heavy emphasis is going to be on collection of glass. You also will get wine boxes as part of this. Now, to increase the glass recycling, uh, the fund will probably pay out up to about $80 million a year will come out of that fund to increase glass recycling, okay? And set up glass recycling programs. One thing that I've noticed over time is that when too much money accumulates in this fund, then somebody's going to target it and try to take it. So in this case, we have glass using, right now there's a surplus of about $600 million, as I recall. Uh, but they're going to be draining that, taking it down every year with all these expenditures. No fixes were made to the processing payment system. Recyclers will be subject to losing handling fees because they're changing the zone size from a half mile to 1 mile. So where there are overlapping zones, no one's going to get handling fees until somebody quits, dies, or whatever, and only one is left in the zone. Uh, the 1 mile zone, and then for rural, it's going to go from 3 to 5 miles. So there may be a few changes there. Uh, Recyclers will have new competitors called dealer co-ops to redeem containers. It's a part of a stewardship program. Think of stewardship programs as extended producer responsibility. It's all tied into sustainability and circular economy, and it won't work. And it will be very costly as people play with it. And that's all they are, is playing with it. But all of California's environmental programs are steeped in this EPR. We'll have more on that later. Now, enforcement got to increase their penalties, their fines. Where the max was $1,000, it'll now go to $5,000. Where it was $5,000, it'll go to $10,000. Now, most people can't afford these anyway, so what difference does it make? It's just intended to put you out of business. And then we're decreasing the zones that can be exempted. So that will that'll open up a substantial amount of zones. We'll see what happens with those. Remember, the dealer co-op is now in play, and that's going to be a competition for standard recycling centers of the past, which, by the way, are the least expensive and most efficient types of programs, in my opinion. And I can debate that. So, uh, $10 million will be available annually for plastic reclaimers, uh, wine, direct sale of wine. Those people are going to have to be registered, like certification. So they'll have to go through the same uh, ineffective and biased certification program that recyclers go through. We'll see if there's a desire to fix that. Uh, Glass and plastic emergency regulations are to be adopted to get this program going. But whoever put this language in made sure that they were uh, availed the benefits and the protections of the California Administrative Protection Act. And that means that a department can adopt regulations, emergency regulations, but they're limited to 180 days. Now, the original statute is still there, and it says that the department can create emergency regulations and never have to adopt them permanently. We have a number of those in existence right now. And so they took care of themselves, but they didn't fix the program for everybody else. So we'll talk about regulation some other time and what it costs you. Uh, Dealer manufacturer payments must be audited every 2 years. Auditing is a compliance uh, function, and we had auditing of recyclers in the beginning of the program, but the person who was in charge of the auditing and investigations didn't like auditing, didn't know what it was for, and therefore got rid of it. You won't find auditing in the Division of Recycling anymore, even though the statute still refers to auditing. What's done are investigations. And those people just go out to find reasons to put you out of business and fine you and take you out. How can we prove that? Well, a year last Thanksgiving, 2 years ago, when we started to see the decrease in recycling centers and the problems after Replanet went bankrupt, um, I remember looking at the total number of certified recyclers, and it was 1,251. And it was going down from there. Although every week some would add, some would go, more were going, they were adding. So we went down to around 1,200-ish. So just recently I looked, we're at about 1,260. So basically, in almost 3 years, based on the policies of the department, we've not really changed any amounts of convenience coverage for recycling for the public in California, and that's a real problem. You have a out of control agency. Okay, uh, now the dealers who had to pay $100 if they didn't have a convenience zone recycler in the zone, that $100 has gone away. They can no longer pay that. Now they either have to have a recycler or they have to be a part of a co-op. All right. And those co-ops are going to, again, compete with the existing recyclers. But also, uh, think about the old picture of a camel, showing a picture of a camel and saying it was a horse designed by a committee. You're going to have all these little committees, and they won't function well. They they don't work as a team. You have a bunch of people come together from different areas, different businesses, and I can guarantee you it just won't be very efficient. And therefore, it won't provide the customer service at a cost that's reasonable that the public deserves in California. And then, like I said, I think I covered this before. Convenience zone exemptions drop from 35% to 15%. Now, there's about 4,000 convenience zones. I'd have to go in and check to see how many are unserved or on hold, that type of thing. And we could see how many that'll increase. But it will create some opportunities for those who want to serve convenience zones. Now, if you found benefit with this video, I want you to subscribe. I'll send you some other information in the description. And you want to be sure to hear the analysis of AB 211, AB 1311, SB 38, and SB 54. All these made changes to the programs. You're going to learn about styrofoam and a lot of things that you won't like. But there's a reason for this. For years, I have told recyclers, you must call on your legislators every year. Well, no one's done that. And so what you have in this bill, SB 1013, is an attack on the fund. And if those of you who were in business in 2008, 2009, when the fund ran short of money, you took a real bath. You got your processing payments reduced by 25%, and your handling fees, if you got those, by 25%. And that handling fee and processing payment, those are things that need to be reviewed. and need to be streamlined, and better protections for the recyclers put in place. So subscribe, get the next ones. We'll go from there. I thank you.